Hey everybody, Anita Edwards here. I'm one of the kickboxing instructors at the Downtown CKO Studio.
My name's Sadie Rose. I'm also one of the instructors here.
And we just are going to take a couple minutes to go through a mind-body scan. The value of a mind-body scan is ultimately, again, kind of we're going on this theme of recovery, but it's ultimately to identify exactly what's happening right now in a moment. It brings awareness to what's happening in your body, but it also just gives your nervous system a moment, an opportunity to rest.
I think it's a great opportunity to really connect your mind and your body and understanding that thoughts can just continue going often. And this is a perfect way to slow those thoughts a little bit and let them pass without necessarily having an emotion attached to them.
Yep. So I have one of my certifications is in mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. I strongly do not recommend people just to jump into a mind-body scan or meditation with this kind of daunting big idea of doing it for a great amount of time. Mind-body scans can be very simply done in 30 seconds or up to 3 minutes, and that's probably where I would encourage you to start. But ultimately what you want to do is you want to find yourself in a very comfortable posture. So this could be sitting like Sadie is. Ideal would be to have like a backrest where you can just not have to hold your body in a certain position, or laying down, whatever posture you can find to get yourself comfortable is ideal. And then what you want to do is you ultimately want to just close your eyes. Yep. You want to make sure both of your feet are flat. So if you are sitting, not crossing your legs, your feet are flat on the ground, your hands are open, and you ultimately start from one point in your body and you work all the way to the other point. Traditionally, we start at our toes. And so you would want to start with your breathing, rhythmic breathing, diaphragm breathing, ultimately, which is kind of a whole different video, but really getting your body in a rest state and focusing on your breathing rhythm. And once you get to that point, which could be, again, it could be 3 breaths, clearing your mind of the thoughts, all the thoughts that you're having, and focusing on the breathing, and then moving down to your toes. And the idea of a mind-body scan is to identify the feeling or the sensation that your toes are absorbing in this moment. So things could be like, they're hot, they're cold, there's pressure on my big toe, it's uncomfortable, ooh, I have a pain spot. I mean, you're just identifying, again, that physical sensation, starting at your toes, and then you work up, all the way up from your ankles to your hips. Traditionally, you start on one side of your body, so starting on that left side, moving up into your hip, and then moving down to the right side, up into your hip, thinking about your bony prominence, the where your body is physically touching, whether you're laying down or in a chair, what that sensation is, and then moving up into your shoulders, down into one side of your arm, moving again from your shoulder to your elbow, to your hand, even to the tips of your fingers, and then moving to that other side. Pausing in spots that you're finding that maybe you're feeling a lot of sensation, and ultimately trying to just notice and name that sensation or that feeling, and then moving up to your neck, and then to your head, back to your breathing, and then you go ahead and stop. So a full scan, again, can be brief, it can be 30 seconds, 3 minutes, it could just be one thing. You could be scanning just one point in your body, or you could do a whole scan of your body. But the ultimate goal is to, like Sadie said, connect your mind with your body, not being caught up in your thoughts, And when you do have a thought, oh my gosh, I gotta let the dog out, or, you know, I gotta do that one thing. Instead of judging that thought, you ultimately recognize the thought and just say, okay, I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna focus back down on, you know, wherever you were in that scan.
What's your best piece of advice for people that maybe haven't ever done any kind of meditation, or they think like, I don't really have the patience for that. I don't really understand like what you do when you meditate.
Totally.
What's your best advice for people that are just starting that and doing this? Like, let's say they do a 30-second scan and they're finding they're really distracted, or they're not really getting it.
Sure.
What would you recommend to those people?
That's an excellent, very useful question. What I would recommend is starting with your breath, starting with your breathing, starting with one thing, rather than having the ambition to go through your whole body. Just starting with noticing your breath, noticing when you're taking the air in through your nose or in through your mouth, you know, thinking about it going into your diaphragm, or maybe you're filling your lungs. And again, it is something new and different. So very likely, if you're brand new to this, you will have a ton of thoughts. It will feel frustrating. But again, the best thing to do is just scale it down to a brief amount of time. And then once you get through that time and feeling, you know, like you're successful with a 30-second meditation or scan, then you can start adding 15 seconds to it.
Cool.
Yeah, good. All right. Thanks, everybody. Leave your comments or any experiences that you had if you happen to try the Mind Body scan.